Let me finish. This is the first time I committed a hate crime.
Maybe they'll jerk my dick off or, like something like that.
Yeah, probably. We've discussed it. I'm a sociopath.
You please take my shit, put it in the trash can.
Your worst friend.
You want to know why you're all fucked up? Just look at the fucking bums you hang around with.
You're listening to Your Worst Friend with Shane and Matt. I'm Matt, and I'm joined today by two guests. One, not a guest. Shane's a co-host. Shane, he's the first one. But second, say hi, Shane.
Yeah.
And second, a legend. Really a legend. I hate saying
Truly.
legend because it makes you sound
legend.
older, and you're not. You're not older, okay? But you are legendary in Shane and I's circle, which was guys who always had girlfriends in high school but still loved porn.
Yeah. Well, it's because the girls weren't putting out,
Even when they were, it wasn't as good as our guest was showing us in film. Right?
That's the thing. Yeah, she set an unreachable standard for
Sure.
the girls we were with in high school. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Our guest today ruined us forever. Her name is Gage. She's a porn superstar. She was a porn superstar, got out of the business. We're going to talk about that for a while. And I couldn't be more excited to be here talking to her. And I guess I have to bring Shane along as well. Let me start with her plugs. You can follow Gage on Instagram at Gage Pornstar. Gage is Gauge Pornstar. And they're pissing her off. We'll get into that later. But go to onlyfans.com/Gage Pornstar. Sign up for it because, regardless of what content she is putting out there, it's high quality stuff. It's always been. Her work has never been subpar. She's never been one of these girls who kind of fell off towards the end. They're doing like junk and garbage and whatever. Always high quality stuff. Been following her Instagram for a while, and of all the people I've reached out to that I really wanted to, I literally went, but Gage is never going to get back to me because she's
too good for us.
I don't know how to put it. It would be like if I was a baseball writer and not the first person, but one of the first people to say, yeah, definitely I'll do an interview with you was Barry Bonds or, Mark McGwire, some high Hall of Fame type. Name two guys who've never been to the Hall of Fame and won't go. But, I don't know. I'm sorry. This is a long, rambling bullshit thing, and I apologize for that. But today we are joined by a true legend in porn, Gage.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, it's really great that I don't know, you say that. But yeah, and people say retired because that's what Wikipedia says.
Sure.
But who the fuck runs that shit? They got Wikipedia, you can't trust it.
Right.
Actually, the moderator of it, I just went rounds and rounds with whoever the fuck it is. They got like an R2D2 type name.
Yeah.
And
it's
I'm
some
like,
sort of algorithm.
Yeah, I'm like, why in the fuck is this picture from 2001 when I've done so much other shit? And, I want my picture updated, and this has false information, so I kind of had to get like a little, snooty with them. And finally,
did it work?
Well, half-assed. They changed the picture, but they didn't change the fake ass shit, which I'm thinking, maybe I should, and I'm so goddamn busy. I don't have time to fuck with these small little people, but yet they're putting all this information out there. And I'm thinking, okay, let me call my lawyer friend up, and then maybe you'll get to getting the right information out there. I don't like the misquote. I don't like, you just can't trust the shit on the internet anymore. You just can't. It's all censored. It's all whatever the fuck they want it to say. And it's just.
Well, we're not censored, so we can clear up any misconceptions today.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
We can say whatever the hell we want. Cum
shot?
Yeah. I'm on your Wikipedia right now, and this is not at all pertaining to what we were going to dive into with our questions.
Nah.
But let me see. There was a quote on there that you didn't like, you said?
Well, it just says that I'm retired.
Oh,
Well,
just
if I'm
retired.
fucking-
Okay.
Well, if I'm fucking retired, why am I doing, like, yeah, I presented award with XBiz and like just in, I don't know, 2015, 16, something like that. OnlyFans, I'm still out there. I'm still current in the adult type world. Don't fucking say I'm retired.
For
Just,
sure.
if that's the case, I mean, and what is retired? Because no studios exist anymore except for,
Right.
Vivid, Wicked,
And guys'
Jules
bedrooms.
Jordan, so it's like, okay, come on, man. Just because you got like, I was in the industry when there was like 1,500 girls, and now there's like, goddamn, who knows how many, 15,000. Anybody throws a video up on any type of platforms, like, I'm a porn star. It's like, no.
So yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. How do you feel about people who are just they work at a library or at a veterinarian's office or something, and they create an OnlyFans and they get successful? Are they porn stars to you?
In their own right, in the new age way.
Sure.
Okay. So it's like that may be their, niche or whatever it is. And it's like, great, good for you. I'm not one to knock somebody down. If you can do it and make it work, great. Where I get pissy, and I'm normally just like a really laid back person, and I don't like to just get into it. But however, if it's something I know fully about, I will so get into it with somebody.
Sure.
So it's just kind of like the one reason why I'm pissed off at OnlyFans is when that goddamn Bella Thorne cunt comes rolling up and blowing it for everybody and talking about, I'm doing a special about being a sex worker. Okay, bitch, number one, you can't do an OnlyFans for 1 week and call yourself a sex worker unless she was caught up in that Harvey Weinstein bullshit. Okay, then maybe the porn stars are sympathy for you then.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
Sure.
But you can't do something and then call yourself a sex worker. It's a total slap in our faces. And what really fucked it up is I'm starting an OnlyFans because somebody has nude pictures of me. Instead of them releasing it, I'm releasing it. There was no cap on how much you could put on pay-per-view back then, where this pure wedding came along. And and so she's like, nude pictures, $200, pay per view. See, okay, made her millions in like a day or two.
Right.
Same goddamn thing she put on her other social medias for free. It was just scantily clad.
Yeah.
I don't even.
It was bullshit. We actually did an episode about that. We were pissed too.
Oh,
yeah,
pissed. I was pissed. But OnlyFans, so now you can only make so much. Like if I put up a post and it's just free to my subscribers, like the most I can make on there is $100. Like someone went to hit me $50, or let's just do a round number, $50, but I already had 60.
Right.
They would allow him to tip 40. I say,
wow.
So
you motherfuckers,
that's
but
fucking crazy.
But then they pissed me off because that's what started the whole thing. And I was like, yeah, this shit's gonna be going downhill. I don't know if I want to spend my time and energy with this shit. Like, I'm not secure. So if I'm not secure, just like in a relationship, I'm just like, I'm not secure. What are you going to do? Reassure me. They don't reassure anybody except for her and her meetings. But yeah, so they went on so someone had ordered a custom video from me, and I gave it to them. I uploaded on their messenger platform through their site, and I get a charge back. And I'm like, no, I sent it. Okay. And then all I get is like an automated response. Please shoot this person's thing and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, motherfuckers, I did. Well, then, so it then comes up to almost like $3,000 they're holding of my money because I get a weekly payout. And I, had a payout like a week or two. So I was just like, what the fuck? So there was like all this shit because it's kind of rolling. So I'm just gonna say a round number, $3,000. I'm like, where the fuck's my money? Next thing you know, it starts building and building and building. And they didn't pay me for like 2 fucking months. I was going round and round. And they were like, oh, you're W-2 or something. And their shit's just fucked. You know, click here to fix your W, what the fuck ever, or 1099. And you know, and you can't, you know, it's just the right format or whatever. So I'm telling them this, and it's just it was just kind of fucked. So I did get my money, thank God.
Oh, thank God.
Good. Well, are you thinking about, I mean, are there other platforms? I don't even know. They're obviously the most well advertised one, but are there other platforms you can do, or are you considering something like starting your own site or something like that?
So I do have a site up, or a page up on Frisk.
Okay.
And that's also Gage Porn Star. And as far as I know, that they are someone, a porn star from the UK started it. So it's like sex worker, you know, built for sex workers.
Sure.
And so, and I do have some things on there. I have not kept up with it because what it really comes down to is this: they take 20% of your money, excuse me. And so, you know, they're all internationally based. So it's just like the banks with medical marijuana. It's like, oh, that you poor lost soul. Oh, we won't do anything. We'll take 20% though. Right. You know what I mean? They don't want to, it's like, we don't want to be associated with that unless we're making 20% or more.
Well,
you know?
Yeah. It's really nice that a bank like Deutsche Bank can have these kind of moral standards and tell you what you can do with your body at the same time while holding Jeffrey Epstein's money. I mean, it's always good that, you know, we have shit like that going on in the world. The fact that any of these banks are claiming to be morally superior than anyone in the world is the funniest fucking thing in the world. Let me just point that out.
Funny is, let's just go even bigger than that. The Rothschilds and them financing every fucking both sides of every goddamn war since Napoleon. I mean, the refrigerator fuck out of town.
It just, I mean, I didn't think I could love this girl anymore, and then she brings up the fucking Rothschilds and every conspiracy I've ever been like, yes, I need to look into this more. I need to look into this shit more.
Because if it feels right, I mean, if it feels like, if you feel like something, like it probably is, you need to, this is my philosophy. If I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong goddamn room.
Good philosophy, actually. I like it.
It's a fair point. Let me jump over to the questions real quick, only because Shane and I were talking about this beforehand. How did you come up with your name? We have no fucking idea how you can. And let me tell you, it is a hell of a time trying to search for Gage. All you get are like engine parts and everything else when I'm trying to go through Reddit.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, how I got my name, and this is really funny. I've actually started writing a memoir.
Oh, awesome.
But I'm so busy. Like, I'm like squirrel. I have so many things going on that I can't. I tell myself I could write it in 3 days if I, you know, just take a fucking break, turn off my phone or whatever, and just go and write that sumbitch in a nice little serene cabin somewhere alone. All I hear is birds and crickets and shit, or frogs. But that would be in there because a lot of people ask me that, actually. So I was a dancer. And I first started dancing with a girlfriend of mine. She was dancing first, and she bought a car. She didn't know how to drive and no driver's license. And I was like broke down. I was like 17, and I drove her around, and like right whenever I turned 18, I'd always sit in the club and drink beer. And one night after I had turned 18, I was already drunk. She's like, come on, girl, get my shoes. Come on, come make some money. And so I was just drunk. I'm like, yeah, okay, you know, party girl, whatever. Got up there, rocked it, made some money. I was like, fuck, man, okay. So she was paying me to be there anyway. So I was like, okay, you can pay me to drive you and I'll dance while I'm here, you know. Anyway, so we had started in Memphis, and this was back in 98. And because I turned 18 July of 98. And so then we were working at Tiffany's, and back then Memphis was just off the hook. I mean, crazy. It's like anything went. And so Tiffany's and then Platinum were the best two clubs in town. And there were these big spectacular clubs. We went from Tiffany's to Platinum.
Okay.
And so I go there, and I don't remember what stage name I danced at Tiffany's, because I only danced there for like a month or something. And so I go to Platinum. It's the biggest club. It's the best club to be at. And they're like, we have somebody there by that name. And I'm like, well, and they're like, you're up on stage, so give us a name. And I said, I don't fucking know. Just give me a goddamn name.
Right. And
so they're like Princess or Precious or some shit. And I remember walking down the stairs from the DJ booth, looking up like, oh no. So I just went out there, give it up for Princess, you know, whatever, like you're throwing up Princess, you know. So I go on stage, and like, I think for a few days, I stuck with that name, and it never resonated with me. So I got in trouble.
Right.
And they're like, you never go up on stage and blah, blah, blah. And you only got one chance to go up on stage, because there was probably like 150 girls. So I'm up there in the DJ booth and with the owner and the manager and DJ. And I said, well, fuck, man, God damn it. It doesn't register whenever you say that. So that can't be my fucking name. I hate that name. Princess Precious doesn't fit me at all. Fuck that shit. You know, I need time to think. And so the manager, his name was Frank, he goes, well, goddamn, aren't you a 12 gauge shotgun today?
Oh,
and I said, pressuring me as I'm about to have to go on stage, and they want to know my new name, you know? And so I said, fuck it, Gage. That's what it is. I'll go by Gage. And so I ran down and I got on stage, and then Gage on stage ever since. And
yeah,
that's how I got it.
That's great. Because obviously that name always kind of stood out in porn too. You see so many common names. There's so many Alexises. There's so many Jennas. There's so many this and that. And then, you know, again,
or like Lynn.
Yeah.
You know, not to say, I'm a Ginger Lynn. I love her to death. She's one of my favorite people.
Sure.
But it's like, you know, Amber Lynn, Ginger Lynn, Ashley Lynn.
Yeah.
God damn. Everybody from the South.
So
a few of them.
So let me ask you this. All right, we got that. Like Shane was saying before, and it kind of harkens back to a lot of the OnlyFans type stuff, but a lot of people say you shot during the golden age of porn. That was a lot of, some people will go back to the 70s or whatever, but I really think the late 90s, or 2000s, around there was really the golden age, because you had the rise of DVDs and the internet at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. If you, right now, if you could be 19 again, right, in today's world, do you think you'd have the same drive and everything else you had back then when you were in a studio system? Or did that studio system somewhat keep you in line at that age? Like, obviously at your age now, which is still very young, but, you know, none of us are as immature as we were at 19 as we are now. You know,
Yeah.
Do you think you would have, not so much a question of, do you think you'd do it all over again, but do you think you'd be as successful, more successful, or you think you would have bailed after a couple months at 19 years old?
So the question is,
yeah, I'd ramble. So you're 19 in 2021.
Now, if I knew then what I know now,
no, if you had access to the technology and everything else that you have now. Okay.
Hands fucking down. Oh, the energy is no problem. You know.
Okay.
Personally, I don't like technical shit. I'm have such a high energy. It's hard for me to wear a watch. It's hard for, me to do electronics because they just don't seem to work around me. And it's not just me. People around me, they're like, I'm like, it's because I'm here. Fuck, I can be buying groceries and all of a sudden, I go to pay with my car. The goddamn system's down. I'm like, I just laugh at it now because I'm like, it's because I'm here. It's my energy. I have a lot of energy, and it's never really died out, But I would totally, hell yeah, I'd be going through all kinds of fucking avenues and being like, yeah.
So do you think like you would have had the same impact though with how ubiquitous porn is now, like just how easy the access is, how easy it is for anybody to put porn out? Do you think you would have made as big an impact in the porn world, or would you now as you did, when me and Matt discovered you and fell in love with your work?
Well, no, I feel like I would have made a bigger impact.
Oh, nice.
So what it is that, let's just say we're time traveling back then and we have whatever, this goddamn Zoom, Instagram, Pornhub,
Sure.
big, fuck, some of my shit's on VHS.
Right.
I mean, it is. I have them, but it's like if I had all of this shit, this was before MySpace and all that shit. I mean, back then it's like who had the smallest phone was the coolest. Now I got the fucking, iPhone.
I have a laptop in my pocket. Yeah.
No. Anyways, no, I would have made like a huge impact, especially if it was just 1,500 girls, let's just say. And this isn't counting like the European and stuff. It's just, the US, the in Porn Valley. And yeah, no, I would have totally rocked it. I mean, a lot of things in my movies were my ideas and things that I did and wanted to do.
That's awesome.
And that's kind of the way I've always lived my life, is like, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to say what I want to say, and mean what I say, mean what I do, and say or do it when I feel like it needs to be said or done. So I don't want to die with a dark heart thinking, oh, I'm not going to lay in bed going, oh, I should have said this or I should have done that. No. I'd be like, was that a good idea? I don't know. I did it. I felt good at the time. Fuck it. Doesn't bother my conscience.
And you know what? If you change your mind later on, there's nothing stopping you from apologizing or saying I've learned more about that or I've done whatever. I do the same thing. I will say what's on top of my mind. And then if more information comes out, I'll go, well, you know what? Maybe I was wrong about that. And
I will apologize. I'll say, you know what?
Sure.
At the time I said that was my knowledge. I've learned better, whatever, and I'm very sorry for that, but I'll never just come out and just say, oh, I'm really sorry for that time that happened. No, there's got to be an explanation, because normally I don't apologize, because whenever I say something at that time, I mean it.
Yeah.
So why would I apologize for something that I mean?
Right.
Unless I do come corrected and I'm wrong, or I've had a change of heart, and then I explain it. At that time, I meant fuck you. But now this time in my life, I'm saying, I'm thinking otherwise. So I'm sorry about that comment. And if it hurt you in the process.
Sure. I think that's like the mature grown up thing to do, though. I mean, I think there's so many people in today's society who are just looking for apologies or looking to get back in good graces by apologizing. And it's bullshit. You don't mean it, and you don't actually want the apology. You want to attack someone and you want to defend yourself, not you. People that do that type of shit.
No, I don't mean it though.
Yeah. well, fake has become the new norm. You know what I mean? And the new experience that when somebody's straight real with you, it's fucking offensive.
Sure.
Well, I'm on the offensive end. I offend every goddamn body. No, I did not upload it on my Instagram. I have a personal Facebook with my family and things, and I posted it. I will on Instagram, but it was this meme I ran across. I thought it was funny as shit, because the other day was coming out day, and I ran across this meme, and it said hobosexual. When you date people with the sole intention for just having a place to stay. loved it.
That's funny.
So I know if I post it, people are going, yeah, hate, and I'm just like, whatever. That shit's funny.
That is funny. Shane,
Everyone's homosexual.
Yeah. Shane, you got any questions? I got a bunch, but I don't want to step on your toes.
Well, mentioning the your personal account and stuff, and your friends and family, do you have anyone who has like just completely cut you off, who doesn't just like smite your posts, but who just doesn't interact with you on Facebook or doesn't accept your calls or anything like that because of your career or any of the choices you've made?
No, nobody significant. I mean, maybe kids I went to school with that are just straight hate or whatever. I never go to the reunions any goddamn way. Why would I grace them with presents?
Sure.
And they were bullies anyways. But the point is that no, my family, when I got to porn, I called and asked my mom, and I was like, dude, I really need to do this. Like I broke out here. Like I went out to LA. I was a dancer. Well, San Diego, then LA. And like at McDonald's back then, you had to be bilingual. And I was like, huh? So and I just responded to figure modeling and everything and stuff. So whenever I went there, they're like, well, it's for men's magazines and videos. And I'm like, well, how much does it pay? And they told me. So I was like, let me think about it. I called my mom. She goes, honey, you're young and shit. You're like, I couldn't do it. But if you want to do it, you just do you. So I was just like, okay. And then like a year or two later, my grandparents found out, and they're really the two that I really care about. I mean, the three I care about the most. So, that's what it was. My grandpa was like, how do you have all this money being so young? And I said, well, I do men's magazines and videos, just like the fuckers told me when I showed up. And he goes, like Playboy? And I was like, yeah, something like that. And he was okay, and just changed subject, and nothing was ever said since.
Wow.
So let me ask
easy.
you, that was in my questions. Did you, all right, well, it sounded like you were dancing before that though, but I've heard so many stories from girls that are told, hey, coming out, you just want to do a photo shoot. And then, a little more money gets added to it and says, hey, you want to do a little bit more. Is that how it was back in the early 2000s? Was it, I don't want to say I'm not saying like a tricking type of thing, because I know there have been porn companies that do that plenty, but I'm
like
talking more like
steps, like a tactic almost.
Okay, well, they had to run an ad in a certain way because of the lingo and what was allowed and with that publication, whatever. And like LA Weekly or whatever, they got a goddamn ad. And so I think, so like I showed up thinking figure modeling for like colleges or whatever. I'd done that before. And then it's like men's magazines and videos. So okay. Well, I think that with some of those tactics, number one, that was with world modeling, and everybody went through world modeling back then. And, unless someone found somebody and they already knew them, in an inner circle type thing. But I think it wasn't until later on that, you get a couple of shady characters. Let's say somebody who would pull that shit. Can I name drop on here?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I would say, allegedly. To cover
I would
yourself.
encourage name dropping.
I want you to run through all the names as loudly as you can. You may want to watch yourself.
I would say if you came up, if a girl came up on set, a photo shoot, hey, a little bit more. Personally, right now, and I think it would be safe to say, and I'd really put this in my memoir. Maybe I will. I would say that's a Skeeter Kirkove move.
Okay.
You know what's so funny? I took them down. I had a bunch of posters that were all different titles of his, and it was just because they were the posters I found. I'm not even necessarily a fan of those scenes, but I took them down before this, and I actually just put this one up for this because I want to show I know what a naked body looks like. That's the kind of guy I am. I'm cool. But Okay. All right. That's fair. So that actually was part of
That
another
was
question I had.
another one. Yeah.
Yeah. But another question I had was, what's the difference in I hate using the term vibe for me. I'm a 33-year-old man. Chicks should use vibe, not me. But what was the vibe on a good set and what was the vibe on a bad set? Meaning, was there a lot of, were there
Tension.
creepy guys behind the scenes who you're done shooting, or maybe it's you're in between a break when you're doing pictures or whatever it is, and some guys just like a producer, a director, a lighting guy, whatever. Some guys like, hey, let's go take a turn right now. Did you ever have that type of thing or no?
Oh, no, not really.
Okay, awesome. That's good for you
I
then.
really, because I think that because of my energy and I'm such a strong vibe in itself, I'm very outspoken. That's why I said before we even came on here, I'm like, any subject it's not, I like it spicy, baby. I'm a Leo. I'm just like it. I like it 100 all the time, when it comes to these things, sometimes sex, whatever, not every goddamn thing, but
Sometimes it's like 60. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, actually, the good sets were just where, obviously knew the people, or if I didn't know them at the time, they made it, they went out of their way to make it very comfortable. Most people did. Bad sets, I only have a few bad. I have way more good than bad experiences on set. I would say I have more good, then the next is more funny, and those kind of mix each other. And then I have a few bad. And really the only thing that made it bad was if I just did not get along with, the producer, and just kind of hashing it out, whether it's creative differences or pay differences or just their goddamn comments, and you need to watch how you speak to me.
Sure.
Like, I'm not a diva, but
a certain level of respect. Yeah.
My vibe, because you're negative and you're old and you're fucking salty and shit. You know what I mean? Coming and degrading a woman right before she's about to shoot for you. Get the fuck out of town. So, but that was only a couple of things. Or like I name dropped before, you got some goddamn husband in the background going, oh, well, she needs to, and so, he's hyping his girl to be mad at you, and you're like in limbo, and it's like, I'm not doing anything wrong because I don't even have a foot on the ground. Like, what is going on? Why is one person mad at me and now two people are, and you're fucking up the time schedule, bitch. Like, okay, now we're gonna fight because now you're fucking with my money. So that was very few and far between. Like, I could name them on one hand, the bad.
Okay, so already I can tell, just like you said, your energy, your confidence, you're very outspoken, I can tell. And I wanted to know about that, because a lot of the women I see who are successful, who last, who build a fan base and a following and a career, they exude that same level of confidence and pride in the work they do. I've also seen women who retire from this industry, and then there's shame. They just don't want to talk about it. So what do you think about like the pride itself? Were you born with that? And how has that helped you in this industry, and how have you seen that in other girls?
Well, I feel that I've always been very passionate. And when I say passionate, whenever I have an interest in something, I go and do it. And I really do give it 110%. And I feel like, even though it's kind of thrown into that, I never watched porn before I got in it. And I still don't watch porn. I mean, I've seen some porn because I'm studying it, or somebody sends me some shit of myself. Like, I think it's on my Instagram. Like, look, Gage, 187 million views on The Babysitter. And I'm going, motherfucker, if I just would have had 50 cents each, that would have been great.
I saw that post you did. You had 131 million views, I think it was. And
187.
Oh,
wow.
My bad.
Well, I only remember that because hip hop, like
187
187.
motherfucking cop. Yeah.
So I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. That'd been like, what if I had a quarter or even a goddamn penny at this point? Shit, look at this economy. Give me my money.
So let me ask you a question on that real quick, because we had on Dan Ferrari and Suzanne Ferrari, who own slutinspection.com, which is another website. It's a cuck queen website, and they are not starting out. They probably have 20, 25 scenes, something like that on their website. They're going to email me after this and kill me because they have 50, but they love the tube sites because it gets them promotion. What are your views on that? Because you're not seeing a dime off of that shit nowadays, right? Like you said, if you had a penny for all of those 187 million views, you would again be perfectly set for a while. I don't know the math on that. Maybe not.
Well, I live in Arkansas, so I'm definitely more set than people in California. I am back in my home state. But yeah, it's great. Yeah. If it is promotion, if they're working it, for their benefit, then like, great. I did listen to that podcast and stuff. They sound like two very cool people. So they were talking about, we only hang out with like, the cool people in porn and me too. I had certain people that I hung out with. I had good friends, of course, mine were like mostly female. And then I had some guy friends too, but I was never one to really date anybody in the industry, but I did stay good. I had a select few. That's back when, we were able to select the guys we wanted to work with. So if people see my porn, they seen that I worked a lot with, let's say, Chris Cannon, Brian Sherwood, bless heart, I think he's still in prison. Pat Mine, Jules Jordan.
That came later. The Mark Davis, did he go by a different name? I think you worked with him a lot.
Billy Glide's died. And that broke my heart. He was a super cool dude, man. Super fucking cool surfer boy, man.
R.I.P.
He was just I feel like Billy Glide was like, he did drugs and shit, and he overdosed, but like, he had like a heart of like an innocent child. He was so sweet. Anyways, but then like, certain people like that. I just had certain like guys that I would work with. Girls I wasn't so picky with, but guys I was.
Well, can I ask you, who were some of your female friends back then? Because I had a question coming up later about Aurora Snow. I know you worked with her a lot.
Yeah, so she was one of my friends. It's not like we attended like barbecues and things like that together. But we worked really well with each other. I think she was going through her own shit. I was going through my own shit. And we always passed each other on set if we were on a set where we weren't working. And then we would always, request each other. It's like, hey, there's a girl scene. Who do you want to work with? Well, I'll work with Aurora because we just jive like that, and stuff. But hanging out wise, I would say that I hung out a lot with like Nikita Denise. She was super cool. I did hang out with Belladonna a while. We went to some mansion parties and shit. I hung out with Stormy Daniels because she was at that time married to Pat Mine. Okay. And me, my ex-husband, and them would go out to Glamis after Thanksgiving, and it was always like a good time and stuff like that. Now, the person in the porn that I hung out with the most, and I probably would have said that they were my best friend. They were my best friend in the industry. And my mind is like sizzling and fried right now. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better friend and someone who had my back on everything, and just, I was so secure and everything, always around them if I was drinking or whatever, was Ron Jeremy.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
wow. Ron, who I think recently got somewhere around 700 years in prison.
yeah.
I don't think
take
it's
50.
I don't think it's
like
that much, but it's a lot.
Well, I think
yeah.
360. It's just really crazy and bad. Now you gotta know this though. I'll never say a girl didn't get raped if she said she did. I mean, these motherfuckers better know that they were, because what I seen, because we were both contracted under Metro Studios. And Ronnie didn't drive. So anytime anything was happening, I'd go pick his ass up, and we go to Tommy Lee's birthday party.
Can
Wow.
I pause you real quick? Does no one drive in porn except for you, Gage? Is
I
that how
guess.
it works?
God damn. Like, I should have been paid double.
Yeah, you should have at least gotten a fucking per diem for the driving.
Yeah, chauffeur
or
fee.
mileage. Yeah.
I know, right? Well, no. Anyway, so but yeah, I would go and like pick him up and everything. Go to Tommy Lee's birthday party. I mean, there was tons of times,
So
but
cool.
contracted underneath Metro. And at one time, there was a couple little times here and there and whatever else that we had to do book signings, but we went on a New England tour, and where we went anywhere from like Ohio, from the Hustler bookstores, all the way to what they say Peabody, Massachusetts. And I'm thinking they're saying puberty, but it's Peabody. So is it puberty, or goddamn Peabody? I don't know. Just look, we missed the exit. Anyways, so every time we're signing, lines of people waiting to meet Ron Jeremy. And every single chick would be trying to drag him to the bathroom. I mean, seriously. And so when I heard all these allegations about him, I'm like, wait a minute. So I flip in reverse. I'm thinking, okay, if that was me and every dude trying to physically pull me to the bathroom, hey baby, come on, let's go. Oh, I'll give you oh man, you'll love this, blah, 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 blah. Oh God, I've always just wanted to fuck you. You know what I mean? Well, okay, he's a dude. Okay. It was free pizza.
Yeah, he's going to turn it down.
But I even seen his goddamn will give in. He's just like, okay, get up. Because he was clearly still like older then. And
so that's what I wanted to clarify. So these women are trying to drag him into the bathroom, and he's turning them down.
Yes, physically turn it. You know what I mean? He's like, the last person, I only signed one autograph, and here we go again when there's hundreds of people. I mean, I'm gonna say sufficiently. I mean, 80%, if there was 100 people in line, 80% of the 100 or 80 of the 100 women are trying to drag him, and not including gay guys. But the point is that I don't even know how he fucking got it. I mean, I actually do know how he got it up. We only did a photo shoot together. And, I mean, he would just squeeze his fucking dick and the thing would get hard. And fuck it. And the girl would be like, I'm fucking wrong, Jeremy. And then leave, and he'd be like, okay. Like, I know he wouldn't come every time. Anyway, I was like, I don't know how you do it. And he's like, I don't know how I do it either. Like, it's just exhausting being I mean, sometimes security people have to be like, ma'am, sorry, you have to move on, and to think that, I mean, maybe there was times he was horny and inappropriate. I don't know. He wasn't with me. Kind of insults me a little. I mean, kind of, you know what I mean? It's like, was around more of anybody. So, I just don't know what to think about all that mess. I mean, if he did do it, then he did it. But what about them motherfuckers who were doing that to him for all them years?
Oh, yeah.
Bitches, where are they at? And I am a feminist. Yeah, but I'm like Dave Chappelle. Where are them bitches?
It's a double standard. And that the Chappelle point you made right there was a good thing. I mean, again, all of us, three of us here are all in agreement. If someone is going around grabbing chicks or doing whatever, that's not cool. But you saw it for years where hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people would just come up to him and try and do the same thing to him. And again, I don't know that I understand why it's a double standard, and not that I necessarily agree with it, and I also believe all women at the same time. I don't know. There's also a thing where I think people will glom onto things and maybe be more offended by something than what they really are if there's part of a news story behind it. That has to happen. We all know that has to happen sometime.
Well, and I grew up in a day and age too, where if a girl wanted to get out of trouble because she was a fucking slut, she would just say, well, he raped me.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Against that shit. Own your truths, and people, even being young, they don't even know the ramifications of that. So I feel that there's a large part of his thing, and I say large part because there could be times. I moved back to Arkansas, so I didn't really have any contact with him after his aneurysm. He almost I only had, after his aneurysm, I only had contact with his manager. So, and could he do that after having an aneurysm and almost dying? I don't fucking know, man. But the point is, like, you gotta.
Yeah. No.
We live in it's a dog eat dog world, baby.
I've heard accounts of him by other people after his aneurysm where it almost. And I don't say this to be insulting at all to him. Well, I don't, but he was kind of like in zombie mode where it was just someone walks up, you want to have arms around. Okay. And then maybe he grabs someone's tit or does something like that. Maybe that's a thing with his, something clicked and he, went that way. And then in today's day and age, like you said, not acceptable anymore, really.
Yeah. So when I presented award at the XBiz awards, I came up to him and he was like, oh, Gage, the shark hunter, and things like that. I mean, he called me certain things because I would go on the pier in Redondo and fish, and I'd catch these nurse sharks and whatever else. Is really cool. But and he came out there one time, he called me the shark hunter. He's goddamn. But anyway, so whenever I see him, he's like, oh yeah, the shark hunter and this, that. He's like, I miss you. But it wasn't the same Ronnie, like not even in the eyeballs. And I was just, my heart was broken, actually. I was just like, damn, and then I asked like Alana Evans about it. She's a really cool chick. And, yeah, it was just really sad, and I'm really sad about how everything's turned out,
Yeah, it's a bummer.
I'm still wondering if my wife would have been in the 80% trying to pull him into the bathroom. Because you know how like the big dick energy, like it overtakes you, and I could see her just like getting like consumed by it, the thing.
I love your big dick energy because I actually went out to have a drink the other day with a girlfriend, and I've been on this thing where I'm not shaving. Fans paid me not to, but I'm kind of going along with it too. Like my leg, pubes, my underarms, like I haven't been shaving. Like it's long. And so I just put on a hat. My girlfriend was having a hard time and go out to a bar, and she goes, you look like a lesbian. I'm like, really? And I asked the bartender, I said, do I look like a lesbian? She was like, and just kind of wandered off. So then next thing I know, people are tell me, oh, big dyke energy. So you got
Hell
big
yeah. That's awesome.
dyke. I don't know. I'm just like, okay. Oh, I tell people, bring it home to mom. Whatever.
Yeah, man. Whatever look works. I say just rock it, you know?
Yeah, hey,
I
out me, and apparently I'm the jazz of the show right now. So keep on.
I used to get people to asking me if I was gay a lot, back when I was like 19, 20. And then I got out of the military and I grew all my hair and my beard, and now everyone thinks I'm homeless.
Oh, maybe you're a hobosexual.
That's it. That's the thing. Yeah, I'm the guy whose couch you sleep on when you are a hobosexual.
Well, you're like, hey, I'm only dating you for your couch, baby.
No, I've seen his wife. She's too good for him. So
Much. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
All right.
well,
Since we talked about Ron Jeremy, I have another dark question, and feel free.
bring it.
Yeah. Well, now dark is going to make me sound like a racist, but
I was going to say big black dark energy.
big black dark energy is, yes, exactly. That's what I'm feeling right now.
You can be big dark energy. I'm big dyke, and well, he can be big dick.
I have tiny pale Irish energy. Okay, I don't have anything big or dark about me. It's awful.
Repressed, sad energy.
Bend over. I bet we'll find at least a small spot dark.
All right. So in 2003, you shot a scene with Darren James.
Yes.
The following year, Darren James contracted HIV offset and then gave the virus to 3 female performers, which like shut down the industry for a while. Right.
Yeah.
Let me clarify to the listeners, you were not one of the 3, obviously. Okay. You left the industry. It seemed like, well, obviously I don't want to say you retired, but in 2004, I think was when you filmed your last scene before your Brazzers comeback, right?
No, I feel like, well, you say 2004, but I feel like there was something 2006.
Okay. Maybe. Okay. Yeah. It's possible.
Just whatever.
How did that affect you? And did you, well, see, I thought you left the next year. So I was going to ask if that influenced you at all into leaving the industry, if it was a fear of anything or anything like that.
Actually, no, that was not a fear of mine because, I knew, it was well after we had worked with each other, and I had multiple tests since then. Of course, when anything like that happens, you go out and get tested anyways. But at that time, we were having PCR DNA tests, and those were like a 3-day gap. So, it'd been months and months. So I was just kind of heartbroken because really nice guy, man, and I don't feel like he spread it. This is the lingo that like I'm talking about with online shit. He spread it.
Well, let me finish and let me apologize then. I didn't mean to use the wrong lingo, but
or whatever it should be if it is correct. I mean, in every article, it should say they knowingly gave it, they unknowingly gave it, because if it's just like they gave it, you're left wondering on purpose or not, is this person a bad guy or not?
Yeah, that is a good distinction to make, because someone knowingly giving that, should be beheaded in Times Square, and someone not knowingly giving that, you just feel bad for them. They're kind of a victim of the circumstance, and yeah, it sucks.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah. But he's a very, very nice person, very gentle person. That was my first interracial scene. And he knew that I had a problem with that because, I was from the South, and anti that. I was just thinking of my fan base, and I already knew. So I was just like, would it be the best career choice? And that's just what it was at the time. It had nothing to do with my preference. You know what I mean? There's actually more interracial on down the line,
Were you worried about a family member finding out? Do you have any sort of stuff like that in your family?
Oh, well, oh yeah, no, I was worried about the census because it's like Arkansas, the Bible Belt. So like there's like a region. So it's just real crazy because then I'm like, well, even though but it's changed. The temperament's changed since then.
Is that where most of your fan base was around that time, was in the Bible Belt? Because me and Matt, we were not in the Bible Belt, and we were fans.
No,
your work made its way up north.
No, the work went worldwide, Shane. But I think she's referring to having to come home and then see people, right? No,
hate mail too. You know what I mean? Like we're this and that and blah blah blah, and I had to, because they always kind of marketed me as like, oh, Gage Southern Belle from Arkansas. They kind of put that on me when in some promotions and stuff. So I know, because I had emails, I had other like letters, PO boxes. So a lot of my shit came from the South. So I was just like, okay, like, what do I do here? So I just made an executive decision and be like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it, because it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, because when you grow up here, you kind of know like the census, and back then shit was still goddamn kind of racist.
Sure.
I mean, it just was. And you may not have always understood it, but you always had to keep it in the back of your brain to be like, okay, you always got to sort shit out when you haven't gotten to a more progressive stage like we are now. So, yeah. But no family member or anything like that. It was just straight fans. And I did get a lot of hate mail and shit, and I just was like, you know what? Fuck off. It's just a scene between people who consented to that and whatever else. But, everybody's going to say something derogatory at some time.
It's just a scene between two adults who love each other and who are making a baby.
Well, this was actually
hold on 1 second. I paused you real quick. We're at 57 minutes. Any chance we could get you for an extra half hour, or no? You can say no. Totally sin. Okay.
Well, I think, yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Let me start up again.
Yeah. Am I on?
I don't know. Let me see. So, all right, let me get into, let's wrap up the regular show with this. I want to show this. Would you mind? Are you going to be offended if I show you? I don't think you will. You're fucking badass. But can I show you a clip from one of your scenes to ask a question?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
Okay. All right, good. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to play this. The audience is going to be able to hear it. And then I have a question for you at the end.
Hello? Hello? What? Oh, nothing. What's up? Who's this? I'm having sex. Yeah. I'm right. Huh? Yeah, it really is. So, how are you doing?
Keep shooting it.
Okay. Okay, bye. I don't know what she said. I couldn't really understand her.
Okay. What's her name?
Who is she?
My best friend, Stacy.
She said her room's on fire.
What?
It's on fire.
Give me the phone.
Oh, God.
Gage, how was Stacy's room? Did it end up okay in the end? Did it burn down? Did the house burn down? Did she get all of her pets out?
Did she make it?
Yeah.
Is she still in that room?
I don't know. Stacy's mom's got it going on. Like, I don't know, but That shit's real, man. Yeah, that was a real phone call.
So now who was that? Was that like the producer's friend? I mean, it's just weird to hand you a phone and go, here, talk to this person.
Yeah. So, we would pull pranks on each other all the time, at least on the sets that I was on, because it just makes it fun. I mean, people think porn sets, oh, that would be fun. Okay, it was fun that way, but we'd make it even more fun.
Lots of jokes and funny shenanigans, huh?
And house fires.
Like that. So I think at some point in time I was talking to a producer and talking about how one time earlier on in teenage years where I was having sex, my best friend calls and I answered the phone. And so I think he got the idea and had like, I don't know, probably like a key grip or something, or maybe the makeup artist be like, oh, here's a phone call, here's a fan of yours, so it's like, yeah, hello. But in real life, I really did have a problem answering the phone when I was having sex. And some people would be like, why are you answering the phone right now? And I'm like, somebody I feel like I need to talk to right now.
Which answers why you were so prompt with all of our emails back and forth. I mean, you like to respond, you like to communicate with people, and I think that's great.
The whole time during those emails, by the way.
Wait, you got cut off there. What happened during the whole time with those emails?
Oh, I was having sex the whole time.
All right, we are going to wrap up the regular show and move over to the Patreon. But what I want to say is, if you don't know Gage, you have to go look her up. I mean, she is one of the all-time great performers. We're going to dig even a little bit deeper on the Patreon, but you have to go. You acknowledge that you heard her on this show. Reach out through her Instagram again is at Gage, Gauge pornstar. Onlyfans.com/Gage pornstar. And what was the other one? Frisk. Maybe you back on it, maybe not, who knows.
No, I will be on there. It's just like a billing issue that they all do. It's just, yeah, we should all start something,
I think so. I think with Matt's marketing and technical know-how, your drive and performance and my ability to sit around and criticize everything, I think we got it in the bag.
Sounds like yes, great.
All right, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, Worst Friend Cast. Go to yourworstfriend.com, and if you want to hear the rest of this Gage interview, go to patreon.com/worstfriendcast. All right, we're gonna move over. Shane, any final words?
I'm speechless. We're in the presence of a graceful living legend. What else can I say?
Sure. Gage, any final words for the regular people?
Well, yeah, definitely. If they tune in to your Patreon, there's a lot to talk about, like where you could find me in the future. And because I'm going to be more elusive, but I'm still, J-Lo-ing it over here. I don't give a fuck. We have the same birthday. Anyhow, yeah. So some good, juicy stuff. Maybe little things I'm going to be sprinkling into my memoir, and also things that I have coming up that'll be really good.
The juicier, the better. Yeah.
Yeah. Save the juice for the last part.
And
always save the juice for the end. Yeah.
It's the pop shot.
It is the pop shot. I can't top that. I heard Gage just say that's the pop shot, and yeah, I'm done. I got no final word. Thanks for listening.
I don't want to sound like a queer or nothing, but I'm really gonna miss you guys when the show's over.